Today, we are picking a stock in the Indian power space. The Department of Investment and Public Asset Management recently approved the IPO proposal of its fully owned subsidiary to mobilize resource for green projects. This IPO is expected to hit the market in March 2025. With this, the company aims for nearly 45 to 50% of its capacity to come from non-fossil fuels or green energy by 2030. 2 days ago, the final regulations for the electricity price tariffs for the next 5-year term was announced by CERC. The final regulations have moderately increased the incentive for a higher generation during peak hours, which will boost the revenues of this company. And finally, today the second unit of a super thermal power project will commence operations, which will take the group capacity to 75,000 megawatts. In fact, over the past 5 years, this company has undertaken or announced commencement of over 40 different business expansion projects and is the only firm to increase coal-based generation capacity in the last 5 years. इस महीने ब्रॉडर मार्केट करेक्शन हुआ था, स्टॉक का प्राइस 15% से गिरा था, पर इक्विटी रिसर्च एनालिस्ट फिर भी कह रहे हैं कि 40% अपसाइड दिख रहा है उनको इस स्टॉक पे। उनके मुताबिक ये एग्रेसिव कैपेसिटी एडिशन एंड बाकी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इन ग्रीन एनर्जी काफी डिविडेंड्स देगा इन द फ्यूचर। इज दिस स्टॉक वर्थ गेटिंग इनटू? तो शुरू करते हैं एक अनबायस्ड एनालिसिस जस्ट बेस्ड ऑन फैक्ट्स ऑन इंडियाज लार्जेस्ट एनर्जी प्रोड्यूसर NTPC Limited. My name is Ashish Thomas. I am an IIM graduate and a management consultant. My daily job is to evaluate firm, understand their risk, and anticipate market moves. And I thought, why not apply all this to the stock market? So here we are, and let's jump right in. As with our previous videos, let's begin with our business model. NTPC is a 5-decade-old company with 75 megawatt energy generation capacity. It accounts for 25% of India's total power generation and 17% of country's total capacity. Apart from energy generation, it owns 8 coal mines, 10 subsidiary firms like NTPC Waste Solutions, and 16 joint ventures in fertilizer, equipment manufacturing, power services, and power generation. Now, there are 3 things that gives NTPC a competitive edge based on its current strategy. There is steady power demand in the country. India's peak power demand is increasing at the rate of 7% CAGR and is the fastest growing in the world. In addition, the heavy peak power deficit also exists, and India and the government's focus on energy security is going to continuously drive expansion in capacity. This company is already touted to increase it by 10% by 2025, which provides more revenue visibility. एक गवर्नमेंट का सपोर्ट है, एज अ गवर्नमेंट ओन एंटिटी एंड महारत्ना, इनका लेवरेज प्रोफाइल काफी अच्छा है। इसका मतलब यह है कि वो आसानी से फंड रेज कर सकते हैं फॉर केपेक्स ईदर थ्रू बैंक्स एंड मार्केट्स, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट तो उनके साथ है। इससे इनका क्रेडिट रेटिंग भी बहुत अच्छा है, which means that they get competitive rates when they take loans. And third, it has a very diverse portfolio of power plants using thermal, hydro, solar, and wind, with approximately 30% of it coming from renewable sources. There are pilot projects which are underway for eco-friendly chemical production like methanol, green hydrogen, and even capturing the carbon which is getting emitted from these factories. They're also planning to expand into nuclear power through its joint development program with National Power Corporation of India by 2032. All of this allows it to remain future ready, align with government's climate change objectives, and reduce coal dependence. And a final note on its subsidiary NTPC Green Energy IPO. अब इसके 2 फायदे हैं for the shareholders like us. एक, इससे इनको fresh capital injection होगा जो इनके future के सारे expansion plans meet करेंगे. Second, the green asset boasts of superior returns compared to traditional business. So this is why a successful IPO will be very valuable for NTPC and its shareholders like us. With this, let's take a quick look at the financials. Before we go in, आपने काफी सारे stock videos देखे होंगे, but very few are going into the kind of depth like we are going today. So please go like the video अगर you haven't already and do subscribe. वहाँ पे bell icon होगा, all notifications click कीजिएगा so that you're up to date because I'll be launching a new company analysis every 3 days. We have 2,000 stocks and only 365 days. तो content तो काफी आने वाला है. So for financials, we'll use Q3 2024 as well as the projected Q4s numbered for this. The company reported an 11% growth in the energy sold led by higher demand and power. Despite the electricity tariff decrease, the revenue still grew by around 1.5 to 2% this year. It maintains a very healthy EBITDA margin of nearly 30%, which is continuously improving, and profit increased by nearly 14% this year. Some more insights for you. The operating cash flow of this company is actually positive, along with the free cash flow too. The subsidiaries and the joint ventures which NTPC is in, they are performing really well with the profits almost up by 29 to 30% this year. The capex has remained constant across the years, around 25,000 crores, which signifies a continued focus on capacity increase. They recently signed green hydrogen gas expansion during Vibrant Gujarat and will set up another factory for green hydrogen fuel in Leh and Ladakh to power buses. Given the government connection, they are also very easily able to raise money through debentures in the market, as recent as yesterday when they announced a 1,500 crore raise for funding capex and refinancing existing loans. From an equity research analyst perspective, they're anticipating a 40% upside on the stock with revenue growth of 7% and profit growth of 11%. And finally, with government as the largest stakeholder at 52%, the shareholder pattern is stable with no insider selling. FIs have continuously increased the stake quarter by quarter. Now they're up to 17%. With that, let's take a view on what are the risks in this investment. One, there are several planned thermal capacity increases, and any kind of delay in it or increase in the capex cost can impact profits. Any slower than expected ramp-ups on its renewable energy projects will impact revenues. And finally, any change in regulation, especially around the price tariffs, can impact companies' financial performance completely. With that brings us to the valuations. This is a football field that you're very familiar with. Equity research analysts कह रहे हैं कि share will be hovering between 370 to 573, predicting an upside from the share. Relative valuation इसका 400 to 513 के बीच में आ रहा है. And I have used Adani Power, JSW Energy, CESC, Tata Powers and other firms for this analysis. And जब मैंने DCF देखा तो company is coming between 489 to 589 rupees at a WACC of 10.04% and a long-term growth of 6.5%. So net stock is undervalued and shows a really good upside potential of 20 to 25% overall. Final thoughts. अगर आपको कुछ भी अच्छा लग रहा हो वीडियो में तो जरूर लिखना what is it that you want me to look into as a next share. I hope you like the new format that I've come up with. Do let me know in the comments if you really like it. And do not forget to click the bell icon to get all the notifications. The goods. Aggressive capacity expansion hai, the renewable business expansion hai, government backing hai, and there's a pure undervaluation of the share, so it makes it a very attractive buy. Any potential delays can be risky to the business and can crash the share in the market. With that, in my opinion, there's a lot of goods and bads to NTPC. It is a must-add in any kind of portfolio if you're especially thinking from a power perspective. That's all from me today. I hope this has given you a great starting point as you think about NTPC as a share. Do like a video. Please drop in a comment if you like something or anything that I should change. आपके comments काफी valuable रहेंगे as I continue to build this channel. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't and please share this with your like-minded investors. Do note that I'm not SEBI registered and these are my independent view and analysis. Please do your own research too and let me know what you feel about NTPC. Thank you.